To the class of 2014, welcome to your graduation. I am David Van Zandt, and I'm proud to be the president of the new school, especially today. Let me start out by thanking our commencement marshal, Linda Dunn, who led the processional. And Professor Dunn is retiring from the new school this year after having been an important member of our faculty and academic leadership since 1991. Most significantly, she served as Dean of the New School for General Studies, as it was then called, from 2005 to 2009. She gladly accepted the role of commencement marshal as what she called, quote, my last new school job description, end quote. I'm also joined on stage today by members of our Board of Trustees, university leadership, faculty representatives, and students who will play a part as presenters and performers in today's ceremony. I'm also sure that you've noticed the large contingent of students on the stage, which reflects both the incredible turnout for this commencement and the fact that it is our students who are the stars today. I want to take a moment, too, to welcome our honorary degree recipients, Neil Blumenthal, a social entrepreneur, co-founder of the eyewear company, Warby Parker, who's given us new ways to see the world. Abigail Disney, a documentary filmmaker who has shed light on serious and complex stories from around the world, and a philanthropist and advocate who has made a profound difference in the lives and communities of many. Also with us today is Chris Thiele, a groundbreaking, genre-defying musician who continues the strong new school legacy of creative, cutting-edge work in music as he continues to challenge creative conventions. Chris? And Robert Wong, an alumnus of Parsons, who is now the Chief Creative Director for Google Design Lab, pioneering work in the intersection of technology and communication. And finally, our commencement speaker, author Zadie Smith. A singular literary voice and one of the great writers of our time. Well, we welcome everyone who has joined us for this important today. Those who are here with us at Madison Square Garden, those who are part of our special satellite viewing experience at the Grand Ballroom, including many of our faculty and university leadership, those who are viewing on live stream on campus at the University Center, and those who are watching from homes or offices, wherever you may be. We've had an incredible and unprecedented level of interest and participation in commencement this year, and at a certain point, demand exceeded space. And we've worked very hard to make arrangements to have as many people as possible share in this experience. I greatly appreciate the interest, patience, and flexibility of everyone who has made an effort to be with us today. I think the great enthusiasm for this event says something powerful about the way we are evolving as a university community. It says something about the connection and passion students feel to the new school. I feel the same way, and our pride is only growing. Just last week, we had an alumni weekend. That also saw an unprecedented turnout. We have seen wonderful expressions of congratulations and excitement from our alumni and friends on social media using the hashtag #NewSchoolGrad. Graduates, we are all proud of you, excited for you, and here to celebrate you. There'll be plenty of clapping today, but this next round of applause may be the most important one. I now ask the class of 2014 to stand and applaud your family and friends who have supported you through all of this and are here for you today. Thank you. Our speaker, Zadie Smith, has shared that she's relatively unfamiliar with American traditions of commencement. We have told her that this is about as traditional as it gets at the New School. Graduates, you know that well. For you are a part of an impressive group of thinkers and doers who chose to be different and to make a difference. You came to the New School because you wanted to be part of a different kind of academic community, on a university that was not for everyone, but that is a place where creative people such as yourself can grow and thrive. A university where not only is it okay to challenge the status quo, it is expected. This is the critical thinking that has marked the long history of the New School, that requires us to analyze and critique all, whether it is conventional wisdom handed down or the latest popular fad. You chose a learning experience that would have you immersed in New York City and connected to cities around the globe. You have been touched by a place where academic freedom and tolerance have always prevailed. Please take that spirit with you wherever you go. I pledge to you all that the New School will continue to represent the best qualities and highest ideals you came here to pursue. After all, we are your university. Our obligation, the obligation of our leadership, our faculty, and our staff, is to be sure that you will always be proud to have graduated from the New School and take pride, great pride, as the New School continues to innovate. Our vision for the New School's future is as much a commitment to you as it is a reflection of you. We are and will be a university where design and social research drive approaches to studying the issues of our time, such as democracy, urbanization, technology, economic empowerment, sustainability, migration, and globalization. And we will be the intellectual and creative center for effective engagement in a world that increasingly demands better designed objects, communication systems, organizations to meet social and human needs. Our goal is to unlock the creativity that each and every one of you brought to us so that you can go out and courageously solve the world's problems. I trust that every one of you leaves this place feeling that we have equipped and prepared you to be both more creative and more effective than when you first arrived. I urge you all to stay connected to this vision and this community that you have helped to form and that has been such an important part of your lives. As members of our growing alumni network, stay aware of projects, ventures, and the creativity and innovation that will be ongoing at the New School. Please come back to visit, especially at the new University Center that you helped to christen when it opened this spring. We count on you to use your future experience and wisdom to guide and support the students who follow you. Drop us a line, send us an email, post on social media. Let us know how and what you are doing. I know I will hear great things from the class of 2014 because I know that each and every one of you has the capacity to make a difference in this world, whether it's through art, design, research, media making, the written word, ideas, critical thinking, engagement with issues, business acumen, tech savvy, and above all, your character. Thank you very much. I now invite Provost Tim Marshall to present the Distinguished University Teaching Awards.
Thank you, President Van Zandt. The success of our graduating students is a reflection on their teachers, their knowledge and skills they bring to the classroom, the tone they set for rigor and high standards, the care and values they model. I'm pleased to present the Distinguished Teaching Award to 3 faculty members who were nominated by their students and their peers. This year, for the first time, we will also present the Award for Outstanding Achievements in Diversity and Social Justice Teaching, a new award to recognize a faculty member who demonstrates the university's commitment to social justice. This award was also based on nominations from students and faculty peers. We have invited graduating students to give remarks about each of the faculty members. So our first Distinguished Teaching Award goes to Alba Quezada, who teaches in the MFA in Drama program. Presenting the award is Brennan Lowry, candidate for the Master of Fine Arts in Acting, who will be joined by Pippin Parker, the director of the New School for Drama. Please come up.
Keep that going. All right. All right. The mediocre teacher tells. The good teacher explains. The superior teacher demonstrates. The great teacher inspires. And I think by all accounts, Alba Quezada has inspired me and my classmates in ways that I will be thankful for the remainder of my life. I came into the class, and this is a quote, being able to sing like this. Ah! That is an impression of me done by Alba. Now I'm comfortable to stand in front of people and be able to sing, and sing proudly, and sing with my full voice. She taught me to find myself, to ground myself, to relax, and to use the voice that is true and beautiful and lovely. And for that, Alba, I owe you an eternal debt of gratitude. It is an honor to be here in front of everyone to share the story of that love that you gave us every single day in class. Your master in drama therapy was probably pretty helpful because most days it was like therapy working with a bunch of actors that want to sing and want to be actors. And it's truly one of the most remarkable experiences of my life. So Alba, I want to say thank you, and that everything you've done truly makes you a distinguished teacher in the eyes of any person I think you'll ever ask. So thank you. And so please join me in congratulating Alba Quezada for this Distinguished Teacher Award.
Do I do anything?
I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Are you saying anything? Okay.
We'll leave now.
Okay.
It's the first time we've done it at graduation so far. Our next award goes to Richard Rosenfeld, Assistant Professor of Fashion Design. Unfortunately, Richard is recovering from knee surgery right now and is not able to be here with us in person, though he is watching us on live stream. So wish him well. Giving remarks and accepting the award for Richard is Amanda Toulon, the candidate for Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fashion Design, who will be joined by Joel Towers, Executive Dean of Parsons.
It's my sincere pleasure to stand before you to honor a true legend at Parsons School of Fashion, drawing instructor Richard Rosenfeld. Richard, a Parsons graduate himself in 1957, learned his trade under some of the best in the business. The leading women in the industry at that time, including Katarina Denziger, Dora, Joan Eby, the then art director of Harper's Bazaar, and Diane Arbus, are also the women Richard can remember as the most influential instructors to him at Parsons. In the 4 decades Richard subsequently worked as an illustrator in the industry, he witnessed revolutionary changes in fashion. In time, Richard would become an icon himself, with his work appearing in respected publications that include Vogue, 17, Brides, Time Magazine, The New York Times, and Women's Wear Daily. And for the past 3 decades, Richard has been sharing his experiences, skills, insight, and life's work with his students at Parsons. He started out in the illustration department at Parsons, working there a few years before joining the School of Fashion in 1984. In the classroom, he balances teaching the fundamental skills while at the same time encouraging students to experiment with new approaches in varying mediums. His spontaneous approach goes beyond just teaching us how to draw. Richard prods students to question proportion and garment construction, asking where the seams were and what fabrics we envisioned during his demonstrative approaches, where we were all hysterically laughing the entire time. His classes were always punctuated with laughter that could be heard from outside the hallways. Today, students, both past and present, remain loyal to Richard, never forgetting the personal attention, extra tutoring sessions, and his reassuring presence when times got stressful. Perhaps one of Richard's greatest achievements are the legions of successful students who are currently making their mark on the fashion world. And let us hope that some of tomorrow's top fashion icons are sitting among the Parsons graduates today. For that success, we can thank Richard Rosenfeld.
We entrust you to give this to Richard. Thank you. Great job. Great job. Thanks. Yep. I'm now pleased to welcome our third distinguished teacher, Carlos Teixeira, Associate Professor of Design and Management. And presenting this award is James Frankus, candidate for the Master of Fine Arts in Transdisciplinary Design, who will again be joined by Dean Joel Towers. James.
Carlos once told me that whenever a student comes to him with a request or possible opportunity, no matter how large, ludicrous, or unachievable that aim might be, he always says, yes, go for it. The trick, he said, is to tell that student exactly how much work they'll have to do to achieve their goal. Now, sometimes this scares students off or makes them realize they're aiming too high. But more often than not, this positive yet realistic approach drives students to achieve things they never thought possible. Carlos's teaching method is one of practicality and trust. Instead of leading projects, he takes a step back and allows students to take the lead. His unwavering belief in his students allows them to believe in themselves. I know this quite personally, because under Carlos's teaching and mentorship, through partnerships he helped forge, I traveled to both Brazil and Japan, presented my work to 2 international technology companies, visited slums in Brazil, worked with the United Nations, co-authored the chapter of a book, and spoke at the University of Sao Paulo. And when I asked my fellow students for some thoughts on Carlos, they echoed my experience. All of them had traveled to far-flung places, met incredible people, and learned more than they ever thought they could have hoped. Across the board, from all my peers, I heard one word over and over again: trust. His unprecedented trust in students' ability to lead and own projects, work directly with real-world clients, and deliver work to a professional standard is outstanding. This award just goes to show that his trust has not gone unnoticed. Carlos, thank you for trusting us enough to trust ourselves. Thank you for making my time here such a formative and unforgettable experience. And thank you from all the students through the years whose lives you've inspired and transformed. I know we will not be the last.
Now, please welcome our recipient for the Award of Outstanding Achievement in Diversity and Social Justice Teaching, Erica Cole-Arenas, Assistant Professor of Management. Giving remarks is Ana Luisa Pena, candidate for Master of Science in Urban Policy Analysis and Management, who will be joined by Executive Dean David Scobie.
Once, Erica told me she was a shy kid, always under her sister's wings. While she got older, though, she found her own voice and gained enough confidence to let others hear it. Paulo Freire said, "No one is born fully formed. It is through self-experience in the world that we become what we are." And Erica, you became a voice. Some say the world today is filled with voices. I don't think so. I think we are full of noises, some loud, some quieter, some even poetic, but nonetheless noises. In the middle of all that babbling, a voice is altogether more valuable, a rare and beautiful thing. A voice actually has something to say and has a passion. It is born from a deeper desire for transformation and unwillingness to accept things the way they are. A voice is not alone. It is not created in a vacuum, and it cannot be strong on itself. It is a result of history, of experiences, of digging deep for understanding, and is a result of listening. A voice is strong when burning together with other people's passions and dreams, always being shaped and adapting. Finally, what makes a voice is its ability to impact. A voice changes the surroundings, motivates some, and confronts others. It always brings transformation. Dear Erica, you are a voice. A voice born in the cry for justice and fed in hope of better communities. You opened yourself up to listen and to receive from people. And as a voice, you have impacted lives, and as a community organizer, and now as a teacher at the new school. Today, you were rewarded with the Faculty Award for Outstanding Achievements in Diversity and Social Justice Teaching, and, if I can say, rightly so. After every class and conversation I had with you, I came back home challenged, encouraged, provoked to make a difference. You helped each student see a clear path towards social justice. And above all, you gave us the hope to believe transformation is possible. Erica, you are doing an amazing work helping each student become a voice themselves. With a heart filled with thankfulness for the privilege of hearing your constructive and challenging voice, I would like to give you this reward and close with a quote from Paulo Freire. The teacher is, of course, an artist, but being an artist does not mean that he or she can shape students. What the educator does in teaching is to make it possible for the students to become themselves. Thank you.
Nope, that's it.
Don't sit down. You'll have to get up again in a minute here. Oh, there we go. I now ask Joseph Grummick, Chair of the Board of Trustees of the New School, and Provost Marshal to join me to present the honorary degrees. Universities confer honorary degrees to symbolize the academic, artistic, and civic standards to which they aspire. We are fortunate to have with us 4 individuals whose achievements reflect in different ways our commitments to creativity, social engagement, and social justice. Provost Marshal will now present the citations.
Neil Blumenthal, please come forward. To call someone visionary has become standard fare, but applied to you, that designation takes on a special meaning. You have helped people not just to see the world around them more clearly, but also to see it with style. Your work with nonprofit and business enterprises serves as an inspiration and a model for others who yearn to do good and to do well. After graduating from Tufts University, you headed to El Salvador and worked for the nonprofit organization Vision Spring. It was there you saw how eyeglasses can change lives. As Vision Spring's director, you developed its award-winning strategy and expanded its global presence to 10 countries. This experience was instrumental in helping you create a truly disruptive business model. In 2008, you headed to Wharton for your MBA, and there you and 3 friends came up with the idea for Warby Parker, an online optical retailer that sells affordable, stylish glasses and donates a pair to Vision Spring for every pair sold. With sharp business acumen, personal drive, and deeply held values, not to mention great design sense, you and Warby Parker changed an industry and set a global standard for social entrepreneurship. The New School is deeply committed to fostering good design that makes a meaningful difference. Neil Blumenthal, for your vision and commitment to bringing the gift of clearer sight to the world, the New School is honored to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Abigail Disney, please come forward. Spanning decades and disciplines, your commitment to public service is an inspiration to anyone who seeks social justice. In 1991, you started the nonprofit Daphne Foundation, an organization that supports groups working in low-income neighborhoods. You later founded Peace is Loud, dedicated to women and peace building. You have also generously given your time and energy to the Robin Hood Foundation and more than a dozen other nonprofit organizations. You have been an advocate for women's rights, people with AIDS, children's health, and other important issues, and often overlooked communities. You've been recognized with an EPIC Award from the White House Project, the Changing the Landscape for Women Award from the Center for the Advancement of Women, and the Peace Award from the Cardozo School of Law's Journal of Conflict Resolution. Your philanthropy is only one part of the story. That work helped you discover a passion for filmmaking. For nearly a decade, you have produced captivating films that share the stories of people struggling for peace, justice, and basic rights. Pray the Devil Back to Hell, Playground, Sun Come Up, Return, Invisible War, Family Affair, 1971, and Women, War, and Peace. Your documentaries are intensely observant and trenchantly analytical, shining light on truths often concealed in shadow. At the New School, the act of artistic creation is bound deeply by a commitment to inspiring social change. Abigail Disney, for opening our eyes to national and global issues concerning human conflicts, rights, and needs, the New School is honored to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humanities honoris causa.
Selfie? Brilliant. Well done. Congratulations.
Chris Dealey, please come forward. There is perhaps no other popular musician whose work reaches so effortlessly across so many genres and periods. You perform with instruments and in styles that go back centuries, yet you make music that is entirely fresh. You show us that by working across disciplines, the possibilities grow immensely. Child prodigy is an overused phrase, but how else to describe someone like you who began serious musical work at age 5, started his first band at age 8, and had producers competing to release his music by the time he was 13. Well, even in your earliest days, your work went beyond technical proficiency and excellence to challenge the boundaries of genre. You combine elements of bluegrass, jazz, country, classical, folk, and rock to make music that was broader, deeper, and more emotionally resonant. You are a restless musical innovator. Your career has been marked by fruitful, groundbreaking, and challenging collaborations, from work with Nickel Creek and the Punch Brothers to projects with Yo-Yo Ma and Edgar Meyer. Your worldwide acclaim is testament to the power of your art. In addition to several Grammys and other musical awards and honors, in 2012, you were named a MacArthur Genius for your work to create a distinctly American musical canon. At the New School, performing arts are increasingly informed by experimentation and exploration. Chris Thiele, for your commitment to forging bravely into new musical frontiers, the New School is honored to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts honoris causa.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Robert Wong, please come forward. Your goal has always been to tell meaningful stories, and your own story is particularly inspiring. What started as a career in accounting turned into a move to New York City and a passion for digital creation, an auspicious change of course. After earning a degree in communication design from Parsons and New School for Design, You went on to lead bold marketing campaigns and develop interactive media that pushed the boundaries of digital communication. You were a creative strategist for some of the world's most iconic brands. And now, as the Chief Creative Officer at the Google Creative Labs, you have innovated web tools that are used by millions of people worldwide. Far from being a technologist or a promoter at heart, you have a strong desire to tell the stories of humanity, big and small, and to observe, document, and model cultural behavior. Your talents have earned you high praise and recognition, from being named among the 50 most influential designers in America by Fast Company magazine, to making the Ad Age Digital A list, to having your work in the collections of the Cooper Hewitt, the National Design Museum, and the Museum of Modern Art. At the New School, design is intertwined with social innovation. Robert Wong, for shaping how we think about and engage with technology, and for your commitment to socially conscious design, the New School is honored to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, or honoris causa. Congratulations.
It is the strange destiny of authors to witness their words take on lives of their own. Take, for instance, Zadie Smith's elegant line, "The past is always tense, the future perfect." It has become a standby of wedding toasts and, yes, commencement speeches. And yet, after more than a decade, the words still bear her mark. Clever but not glib, funny but profoundly expressive of sorrow and hope. Was there ever a line more Zadie Smith? It is the kind of uncommonly elegant turns of phrase that we have come to expect upon opening one of her novels. Since her debut, with the acclaimed White Teeth, Ms. Smith has produced one brilliantly realized novel after another. The Autograph Man, On Beauty, and N.W. Readers of the New York Review of Books have also come to look forward to her clear-eyed essays on issues ranging from environmental degradation to joy to Facebook. For Zadie Smith, there is no topic too great, no argument too ferocious. Race, class, and gender, the societal value of art and literature, the burden of history. She has explored them all, guiding her readers towards a more nuanced understanding of our world and ourselves. It is now my great honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Zadie Smith.
Welcome, graduating class of 2014, and congratulations. You did it. You made it. How do you feel? I guess I can only hazard a guess, which means thinking back to my own graduation in England, 1997, and extrapolating. Did I feel like you? I should say first that some elements of the day were rather different. I wasn't in a stadium listening to a speech. I was in an 18th century hall, kneeling before the dean, who spoke Latin and held one of my fingers. Don't ask me why. Still, the essential facts were the same. Like you, I was finally done with my degree and had made of myself a graduate. And like you, I now had two families, the old, boring one that raised me, and an exciting new one consisting of a bunch of freaks I'd met in college. But part of the delightful anxiety of graduation day was trying to find a way to blend these two tribes, with their differing haircuts and political views and hygiene standards and tastes in music. I felt like a character in two different movies, and so old. I really believed I was ancient, impossibly distant in experience from the freshman only 3 years below. I was as likely to befriend a squirrel as a freshman. Which strange relationship with time is perhaps unique to graduates and toddlers. Nowadays, age 38, if I meet someone of 41, I don't conclude that friendship is impossible between us. But when I was 21, the gap between me and an 18-year-old felt insurmountable. Just like my 4-year-old daughter who'd rather eat sand than have a play date with a 1-year-old. And what else? Oh, the love dramas. So many love dramas. Mine, other people's. They take up such a large part of college life, it seems unfair not to have them properly reflected in the transcript. Any full account of my university years should really include the fact that I majored in English literature with a minor in drunken discussions about the difference between loving someone and being in love with that person. What can I tell you? It was the 90s. We were really into ourselves. We were into self-curation. In the 90s, we even had a thing called year off trousers, which signified any kind of ethnic or exotic pants one brought back home from a distant, ideally third world country. And these trousers were meant to alert to a passing stranger the fact we'd been somewhere fascinating, and thus added further color to our unique personalities. Personally, I couldn't afford a year off, but I was very compelled by those trousers. In short, the thing I wanted most in the world was to be an individual. I thought that's what my graduation signified, that I had gone from being one of the many to one of the few, to one of the ones who would have choices in life. After all, my father didn't have many choices. His father had none at all. Unlike them, I had gone to university. I was a special individual. Well, looking back, it's easy to diagnose a case of self-love. People are always accusing students of self-love, of self-obsession. And this is a bit confusing because college surely encourages the habit. You concentrate on yourself in order to improve yourself. Isn't that the whole idea? And out of this process, hopefully, emerge strikingly competent individuals with high self-esteem, prepared for personal achievement. When we graduate, though, things can get a little complicated. For how are we meant to think of this fabulous person we've taken such care of creating? If university made me special, did that mean I was worth more than my father? More than his father before him? Did it mean I should expect more from life than them? Did I deserve more? What does it really mean to be one of the few? Are the fruits of our education a sort of gift to be circulated generously through the world? Or are we to think of ourselves as pure commodity, on sale to the highest bidder? Well, let's be honest, you're probably feeling pulled in several directions right now, and that's perfectly natural. In the 90s, the post-graduation dilemma was usually presented to us as a straight ethical choice between working for the banks and doing selfless, charitable work. The comic extremity of the choice I now see was perfectly deliberate. It meant you didn't have to take it too seriously. And so we peeled off from each other. Some of us, many of us, joined the banks. But those that didn't had no special cause to pat ourselves on the back. With rare exceptions, we all pursued self-interest, more or less. It wasn't a surprise. We'd been raised that way. Born in the 70s, we did not live through austerity, did not go to war like my father or his father. For the most part, we did not join large political or ideological movements. We simply inherited the advantages for which a previous generation had fought. And the thing so many of us feared was the idea of being subsumed back into the collective from which we'd come, of being returned to the world of the many, or doing any work at all in that world. In my case, this new attitude was particularly noticeable. My own mother was a social worker, and I had teachers in my rowdy state school who had themselves been educated at precisely the elite institution I would later join. But amongst my college friends, I know of no one who made that choice. For the most part, we were uninterested in what we considered to be unglamorous pursuits. We valued individuality above all things. You can thank my generation for the invention of the word supermodel and the popularization of celebrity and lifestyle, often used in conjunction with each other. Reality TV, that was us. Also televised talent shows. Also Ugg boots. You're welcome, millennials. And when the fussier amongst us detected in these visions of prestigious individuality perhaps something a little crass and commercialized, our solution was to go in some ways further down the same road, to out-individuate the celebrated individuals. We became hipsters, defined by the ways we weren't like everybody else. One amusing, much commented upon consequence of this was that we all ended up individuals of the same type. Not one of a kind, but one of a kind. But there was another aspect I now find melancholic. We isolated ourselves. It took us the longest time to work out that we needed each other. You may have noticed that even now we seem somewhat stunned by quite ordinary human pursuits like having children or living in a neighborhood or getting ill. We're always writing lifestyle articles about such matters in the Sunday papers. That's because until very recently, we thought we were going to get through this whole life thing purely on our own steam. Even if we were no fans of the ex-British Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher, we had unwittingly taken her most famous slogan and embedded it deep within our own lives. "There is no such thing as society," she said. We were unique individuals. What did we need with society? But then it turned out the things that have happened to everybody since the dawn of time also happened to us. Our parents got old and ill. Our children needed schools and somewhere to play. We wanted trains that ran on time. We needed each other. It turned out we were just human, like everybody. Now, I may have this completely backward, but I get the sense that something different is going on in your generation, something hopeful. You seem to be smarter sooner. Part of these smarts is surely born out of crisis. In the 90s, we had high employment and a buoyant economy. We could afford to spend weeks wondering about the exact length and shape of our beards or whether Kurt Cobain was a sellout. Your situation is more acute. You have so many large collective tasks ahead, and you know that. We had them too, but paid little attention, so now I'm afraid it falls to you. The climate, the economy, the sick relationship between the individual prestige of the first world and the anonymity of the third. These are things only many hands can fix, working together. You are all individuals, but you are also part of a generation. And generations are defined by the projects they take on together. Even at the level of slogan, you've decided to honor the concept of the many over the few, that now famous 99%. As far as slogans go, which is not very far, yours still sounds more thoughtful to me than the slogans of my youth, which were fatally infected by advertising. Be strong, be fast, be bold, be different, be you. Be you, that was always the takeaway. And when my peers grew up and went into advertising, they spread that message far and wide. Just be you, screams the label on your shampoo bottle. Just be you, cries your deodorant. Because you're worth it. You get about 50 commencement speeches a day, and that's before you've even left the bathroom. I didn't think you'd want any more of that from me. Instead, I want to speak in favor of recognizing our place within the many, not only as a slogan, much less as a personal sacrifice, but rather as a potential source of joy in your life. Here is a perhaps silly example. It happened to be recently at my mother's birthday. Around midnight, it came time to divide up the rum cake, and I, not naturally one of life's volunteers, was press-ganged into helping. A small circle of women surrounded me, dressed in West African wraps and headscarves, in imitation of their ancestors. "Many hands make short work," said one, and passed me a stack of paper plates. It was my job to take the plated slices through the crowd. Hardly any words passed between us as we went about our collective task, but each time we set a new round upon a tray, I detected a hum of deep satisfaction at our many hands forming this useful human chain. Occasionally, as I gave out a slice of cake, an older person would look up and murmur, "Ah, you're Ivan's daughter." But for the most part, it was the cake itself that received a greeting, a little nod, or a smile. For it was the duty of the daughter to hand out cake. No further commentary was required. And it was while doing what I hadn't realized was my duty that I felt what might be described as the exact opposite of the sensation I have standing in front of you now. Not puffed up with individual prestige, but immersed in the beauty of the crowd. Connected, if only in gesture, to an ancient line of practical women working in companionable silence in the service of their community. It's such a ludicrously tiny example of a collective action, and yet clearly still so rare in my own life that even this minor instance of it struck me. Anyway, my point is, it was a beautiful feeling, and it was over too soon. And when I tried to look for a way to put it into this speech, I was surprised how difficult it is to find the right words to describe it. So many of our colloquial terms for this work of many hands are sunk in infamy. Human chain, for starters. Cog in the machine, brick in the wall. In such phrases, we sense the long shadow of the 20th century with its brutal collective movements. We do not trust the collective. We've seen what submission to it can do. We believe instead in the individual, here in America especially. Now, I also believe in the individual. I'm so grateful for the 3 years of college that helped make more or less of an individual out of me, teaching me how to think and write. You may well ask, who am I to praise the work of many hands when I myself chose the work of one pair of hands, the most isolated there is? I can't escape that accusation. I can only look at my own habit of self-love and ask, what is the best use I can make of this utterly human habit? Can I make a gift of myself in some other way? I know for sure I haven't done it half as much as I should or could have. I look at the fine example of my friend, the writer and activist Dave Eggers, and see a man who took his own individual prestige and parlayed it into an extraordinary collective action, 826 National, in which many hands work to create educational opportunities for disadvantaged kids all over this country. And when you go to one of Dave's not-for-profit tutoring centers, you don't find selfless young people grimly sacrificing themselves for others. What you see is joy. Dave's achievement is neither quite charity nor simple individual philanthropy. It's a collective effort that gets people involved in each other's lives. I don't mean to speak meanly of philanthropy. Generally speaking, philanthropy is always better than no help at all. But it is also in itself a privilege of the few. And I think none of us want communities to rise or fall dependent on the whims of the very rich. I think we would rather be involved in each other's lives. And that what stops us most often is fear. We fear that the work of many hands will obscure the beloved outline of our individual selves. But perhaps this self you've been treasuring for so long is itself the work of many hands. Speaking personally, I owe so much to the hard work of my parents, to the educational and healthcare systems in my country, to the love and care of my friends. And even if one's individual prestige, such as it is, represents an entirely solo effort, the result of sheer hard work, does that everywhere and always mean you deserve the largest possible slice of the pie? But these are big questions, and it is collectively that you'll have to decide them. Everything from the remuneration of executives to the idea of the commons itself depends upon it. And at the core of the question is what it really means to be the few and the many. Throughout your adult life, you're going to have a daily choice to throw your lot in with one or the other. And a lot of people, most people, even people without the luxury of your choices, are going to suggest to you over and over that only an idiot chooses to join the many when he could be one of the few. Only an idiot chooses public over private, shared over gated, communal over unique. Mrs. Thatcher, who was such a genius at witty aphorism, once said, "A man who, beyond the age of 26, finds himself on a bus can count himself a failure." I've always been fascinated by that quote, by its dark assumption that even something as natural as sharing a journey with another person represents a form of personal denigration. The best reply to it I know is that famous line of Terence, the Roman playwright, "Homo sum humani nihil a me alienum puto." I am a human being. I consider nothing that is human alien to me. Montaigne liked that so much he had it carved into the beams of his ceiling. Some people interpret it as a call to toleration. I find it stronger than that. I think it's a call to love. Now, full disclosure, most of the time, I don't find it easy to love my fellow humans. I'm still that solipsistic 21-year-old. But the times I've been able to get over myself and get involved at whatever level, well, what I'm trying to say is those have proved the most valuable moments of my life. And I never would have guessed that back in 1997. Oh, I would have paid lip service to it as a noble idea, but I wouldn't have believed it. And the thing is, it's not even a question of ethics or self-sacrifice or moral high ground. It's actually totally selfish. Being with people, doing for people, it's going to bring you joy. Unexpectedly, it just feels better. It feels good to give your unique and prestigious selves a slip every now and then and confess your membership in this unwieldy collective called the human race. For one thing, it's far less lonely. And for another, contra Mrs. Thatcher, some of the best conversations you'll ever hear will be on public transport. If it weren't for the New York and London subway systems, my novels would be books of blank pages. But I'm preaching to the converted. I see you gazing into your phones as you walk down Broadway. And I know solipsism must be a constant danger, as it is for me, as it has been for every human since the dawn of time. But you've also got this tremendous contrapuntal force pulling you into the world. For aren't you always connecting to each other, forever communicating, rarely scared of strangers, wildly open, ready to tell anyone everything? Doesn't online anonymity tear at the very idea of a prestige individual? Aren't young artists collapsing the border between themselves and their audience? Aren't young coders determined on an all-access world in which everybody is an equal participant? Are the young activists content just to raise the money and run? No. They want to be local, grassroots, involved. Those are all good instincts. I'm so excited to think of you pursuing them. Hold on to that desire for human connection. Don't let anyone scare you out of it. Walk down these crowded streets with a smile on your face. Be thankful you get to walk so close to other humans. It's a privilege. Don't let your fellow humans be alien to you. And as you get older and perhaps a little less open than you are now, don't assume that exclusive always and everywhere means better. It may only mean lonelier. There will always be folks hard selling you the life of the few. The private schools, private planes, private islands, private life. They're trying to convince you that hell is other people. Don't believe it. We are far more frequently each other's shelter and correction, the antidote to solipsism, and so many windows on this world. Thank you.
Thank you, Zadie. I think you can tell everyone appreciated those great words. Thank you. I now welcome a very special musical performance, a collaboration among students from Madison College, the New School for Jazz and Contemporary Music, and the New School for Drama, showing how our three performance schools are coming together to create exciting and important new shared experiences. They have chosen to perform a version of the classic Academy Award-winning ballad, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, which will be in some ways familiar and in some ways very new and very new school. The arrangement is by jazz pianist-composer Joachim Lecointre. Joachim is from the Netherlands, and in addition to his jazz courses, has been studying orchestration at Madison. Performing are Maya Gur, vocalist, Meredith Enzima Ramsey and Elaine Yi Ling Eng, violins, Patrick Page, viola, Alina Lims, cello, Yo-Won Sung, bass, Matt Chalk, alto saxophone, and Jeffrey Adams, actor.
The world is a hopeless jumble, and the raindrops tumble all around. Heaven opens a magic lane. When all the crowds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found, leading from your window pane to a place behind the sun, just a step beyond the rain. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, why can't I?
Courage. What makes a king out of a slave? Courage. What makes the flag on a mast wave? Courage. What makes the elephant charge his tusk in the misty mist or the dusky dusk? What makes the muskrat guard his musk? Courage. What makes the Sphinx the seventh wonder? Courage. What makes the dawn rise up like thunder? Courage. What makes the Hottentot so hot? What puts the ape in apricot? What do they got that I ain't got? Courage.
Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll fly beyond the rainbow. Why, oh, why can't I?
Thank you all. That was great. That was great. I will now introduce our student speaker. First, I want to acknowledge each of the 5 students who are finalists for this important role. After I name them all, let's please give them a warm round of applause. Amy Lee Cutler, Anita Marie Denove, Benjamin Johnson Silverman, Simone T. Tyrell, Aaliyah Rose Zlotkin. The class of 2014's commencement speaker is Prathika Prabha Madhavan. Prathika is graduating today with a Bachelor of Business Administration in Strategic Design and Management from Parsons. I will refrain from saying much more by way of introduction because I know that Prathika's personal history is something she will share in her speech. But I do want to simply note that in her accomplishments, her character, and her aspirations, she embodies the best qualities of the new school. She is creative, engaged, a true global citizen, driven by a strong sense of values, and the will to use her considerable skills and knowledge to make a meaningful difference and improve lives. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our 2014 commencement student speaker, Prathika Prabha Madhavan.
Okay, so that was a really tough act to follow, but I'm going to give it my best. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. I appreciate it. So, President Van Zandt, trustees, faculty, families, graduates, and the larger New School community gathered here today. It is an incredible honor for me to speak in front of you. I'm both deeply humbled and grateful to have received this opportunity. As I was deep in thought preparing this speech, I wondered what I was going to talk to you about today. I could talk to you about the science of innovation disruption, hybrid wireframes, or lean user experience design. But then I figured that you could learn all those things by typing them into Google. But the one thing that you wouldn't be able to find would be my story, and that is what I'm here to share with you today. My name is Prathika. I'm of Indian origin, but I was born and brought up in Jakarta, Indonesia. 3 years ago, I embarked upon the journey of a lifetime, traveling 9,867 miles on a 21-hour flight, crossing the Indian and Atlantic Oceans to be here and fulfill my dreams at the new school. During my time here, my friends nicknamed me Free Bird. And over the years, it has become a big part of my personality. They called me Free Bird because I was the bird who flew away. Indonesia is a country of 17,000 islands, with a population of 246.9 million people, out of which the Indian population represents 109,000. What were the chances of pursuing a formal education in my family's history? Not much. What was the price of living freely and turning my dreams into a reality? Too much. I had never known what it felt like to live freely without anyone watching over me or tracing my footsteps. But there was one person who saw that I had wings, and that was my mother. My mother dreamed of studying gemology and diamond grading at the Gemological Institute of America in Los Angeles. Unfortunately, she was unable to do so as a result of family constraints. But that did not stop the rebel in her. She saved up her pocket money, invested it in gemology textbooks over the years, she taught herself, and earned herself a job as an international diamond jewelry designer. Despite her constraints, she chose to live her life independently. She paved her own path, followed her dream career, fell in love, and married the man of her dreams, who is my lovely father. But the one thing that my mom craved and lacked was a formal education. She always wanted me to have the education that she never got. I'll always remember the night I first learned about Parsons. It was a rainy evening, and as we sat down on our flannel brown couch after dinner, my mom flipped on the Discovery Travel and Living channel, and that, my friends, was my first Project Runway episode. My mom always knew that I was deeply interested in design thinking and facets of the design industry. She brought Parsons to my attention and told me that if I'd get into the best design school in the world, my future would thank me for it. That June 15, 2008, my mother was diagnosed with third-stage ovarian cancer. But we all knew that she was a fighter and lived in the belief that she would battle her way through. Even in the throes of the vicious cycle of cancer, my mother found great joy in helping me prepare my Parsons application. On December 26, 2010, we were overjoyed to learn that I had received an unconditional acceptance to Parsons, the New School for Design in New York, to pursue a degree in strategic design and management. A year later, as I prepared to leave for New York, I went into my mom's room to say goodbye. She held me close and barely above a whisper, with the strength that I knew it had taken her the whole day to muster. She said to me, "Prithika, you are now going to do something that I always wanted to, but was never able to. Promise me that as you start this new chapter, you will not take even a single day for granted. Each day that you are there, keep your focus on the end goal. Work hard and give it your 110% best. Stay focused and become someone that I will be proud of. And when you are wearing that cap and gown, standing on stage on the day of commencement, you will have fulfilled my dream." 21 hours later, I landed in New York, the city of my dreams. On the taxi ride back from JFK, I had my first conversation with an English-speaking taxi driver. This was a rare encounter for me, coming from a city where only the most educated spoke English. I also remember seeing a Bed Bath & Beyond billboard of two gay men in their wedding tuxedos holding a bouquet together. I never knew that such a thing as socially accepted same couples even existed. And while this was incredibly eye-opening for me, it allowed me to embrace the beauty of all the diversity that New York City had to offer. At Parsons, I jumped right into the curriculum and became deeply immersed in the new school community. Everything was going great, almost too good to be true. Then came the night of September 26, 2011. My phone rang at 1:13 a.m., and it was my father. I've always known my father to be someone who is strong, poised, and fearless. But that night, his voice sounded different. He said, "Prith, I think you should think about coming home. Mom really wants to see you, and she's not doing too well." Before I could catch the next flight out, I received another phone call from my father, and it was the first time I heard him cry. He said, "Baby, I'm sorry. She's gone." I felt the ground beneath my feet shake, and I didn't know what had hit me. I dropped on the ground on the corner of 5th Street and 5th Avenue. Amidst the loud, chaotic sounds of ambulances, fire trucks, and angry cabbies on road rage, I was totally, completely lost in translation of that moment. But somehow I made it back to the dorms and straight to the airport. I will always remember that flight home as being one of the longest and most painful journeys that I had to endure. 15 hours to Dubai, 9 hours in Dubai, and another 8 hours back to Jakarta. As soon as I arrived at Soekarno-Hatta Airport, my little sister grabbed me tight and she brought me home. We battled a 2-hour traffic jam, and when I walked through the door, all that was left was a photo frame of my mother on the table and our house covered in a sea of over 1,000 people dressed all in white. The faces of my family members were left completely lifeless. The days that followed elucidated a period of grief, frustration, anger, and disbelief. Since I only had 14 days to be away before I'd fall too far behind with classes, the question arose, to stay or to go? I could not leave my family in that broken state, but my father told me that there was something I should know. He said that when I left home for the first time to join the new school and Parsons, my mom knew that it would be the last time she was ever going to see me, let alone graduate university. But that was not going to stop her from allowing me to achieve what would have been one of the most wonderful experiences in my life. When she hugged and kissed me goodbye, she knew that was the end. My dad looked me in the eyes and told me that going back to college and completing this degree would be the biggest tribute that I could give to my mom. And so I did. That semester, I returned to the new school, somehow managed to wrap up all my classes in time, received my first 4.0 GPA in university, and recognition on the Dean's List. And here I am today, standing on this stage, giving the commencement speech of 2014, about to graduate. Thank you for allowing me to share with you the story of my mom. This is my way of giving her presence here today. I hope in hearing my story that you each find something that resonates with you. Each of you have broke through some constraint to be here today. Each of you have traveled a distance to arrive at this point in your lives. Each of you encountered some deep emotional challenge that shook you. Each of you have mustered the courage to battle all the challenges that came your way, and each of you have succeeded. I feel so lucky to tell my story up here today, but I know that there are over thousands of stories that are just as beautiful and life-changing as mine. Graduating from a legendary and progressive university, I could not be more honored than to be giving this speech here today. The New School is a place where people come to challenge the status quo, to embrace obstacles, and to start revolutions. For me, that revolution is being the first female to graduate in my family. I urge each of you to take a moment and celebrate the revolution that each of you are bringing forth today. Tomorrow evening, this free bird is about to fly away once again. I leave for Los Angeles to start my career as a user experience designer and a wearable technology specialist, to design products that solve simple, life-changing solutions for women. If all goes as planned, my first product to watch out for will be the e-bra. The e-bra is a wearable technology device that allows breast cancer victims to naturally regenerate their breast shape through simply wearing this bra on a daily basis. Embedded with estrogen sensors, this bra has 3 functions: minimizing, maximizing, and moderating. The breast shape will be adjusted based on a daily basis, picked up on the estrogen sensors, and when worn over a period of time, it'll allow the breast to come back to a normal shape without having to go under the knife or radiation or any surgery at all. My wearable technology products are focused on the broader topic of effective computing and designing devices and services that will provide life-changing solutions for women. As I continue with my research, my goal is to continue exploring and to build robust, real-world systems to stand up to everyday challenges for ordinary people like you and me. Apart from the short-term plan, I do not know what the future may hold for me, and perhaps this is the case for many of you out there today. Whatever it may be, just know that you are ready. We are ready. Even though you may have obstacles and challenges to deal with, know that just as you have dealt with them during your time here at the new school, you are ready to go forth into the world and do it once again. You are going to surpass every obstacle and raise the bar even higher for yourselves. All 3,000 of you graduating here today are about to change the world in some way. Launching back into my Freebird mode, for the next 30 seconds, I want you to stop, think, and ask yourselves, if you were a bird sitting on a tree and you had a comfortable and safe nest, would you feel scared if the tree shook and the branch beneath you broke? Well, you shouldn't. This is it. The time is now. You are ready to fly up to the highest branch of that tree until you arrive at the best destination you possibly can for yourselves and others. My time at the new school has allowed me to reflect on the concept of time altogether. Time provides us with a multitude of memories. Certain memories we wish never existed, and others we wish we could constantly replay. Whatever each time represented, it has shaped who we are today. During our time here at the new school, we looked at exams, Hurricane Sandy, and the Arctic winter as arduous times, but we were all happy to learn that they did not last. Similarly, as we moved into a new building and grew with equal opportunities, we realized the power of positive times when they are spent with the people who encourage you to be a responsible world citizen, a collaborative worker, an adaptable learner, and a creative individual who's deeply engaged in self-directed learning for the betterment of all. As we soak in this moment of closing one chapter and starting another, it may seem like an overwhelming time, but I urge you to think differently. My mother had a dream to send me off to college, and she did. She wanted to start the revolution of educating girls in our family, but unfortunately, she passed away 1 month after I joined the new school. As much sadness as this event has brought, it has also given me the power to appreciate what we have now. Live in the moment and enjoy life for all that it has to offer. Join an organization, nonprofit, consulting, corporate, create your own, or go back to school and pursue new dreams that emerge during your time here at the new school. Do something that provides food for your soul and places you in a positive working environment. Spend each moment basking in the glory of all the hard work and effort that you have put into this education. Let your dreams stand tall. Let your wings allow you to soar. Be the free bird that is not limited by any constraints to succeed in this ever-changing world. Congratulations, class of 2014. You are ready. Thank you.
Wow, that was tremendous. Thank you, Prithika. Okay, the moment has now arrived when we will celebrate graduates through the conferral of degrees. I will ask the university deans and directors to present their candidates. As the candidates rise, you will notice that some of them wearing green tassels on their caps. This identifies them as signers of the graduation pledge. They are part of a global campaign in which graduates make a commitment to improve society and the environment through their careers. I also want to make a special note that there are a number of veterans in the graduating class of 2014. We are grateful to you for your service to our country and proud that you chose to further your education here at the New School. We will now begin the presentation of candidates. First, from the New School for Public Engagement, will Executive Dean David Scobie please come forward.
Mr. President, Mr. Provost, I have the honor to present the candidates for degrees in the New School for Public Engagement. I will begin with the candidates for the bachelor's degree in the School of Undergraduate Studies. Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, and Bachelor of Science from the School of Undergraduate Studies please rise? Mr. President, this fine group includes the candidates for degrees in liberal arts, global studies, musical theater, and psychology. Please be seated. I will now present the candidates for graduate degrees. Will all of the candidates for master's degrees from the schools and programs in the School for Public Engagement please rise? Mr. President, this impressive group of students includes our candidates for Masters of Art in Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages, and the candidates from the School of Media Studies for the degrees of Master of Arts in Media Studies and Master of Science in Media Management, and the candidates for the School of Writing for the degree of Master of Fine Arts in Creative Writing, and the candidates from the Milano School of International Affairs, Management, and Urban Policy for the degree of Master of Arts, Master of Science, and Master of Philosophy in International Affairs, Environmental Policy and Sustainability Management, Human Resources Management, International Affairs, Nonprofit Management, Organizational Change Management, and Urban Policy Analysis and Management. Let's cheer them all. Please be seated. And now, Mr. President, Mr. Provost, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Public and Urban Policy in the Milano School. I will call each candidate by name, and I ask the candidates that are present today to rise. Ryan Davidson Buck, Megan R. Gavin, Philip Mark Plotch, Milos Shugovic, Jamie Vanessa Taylor, and Charles A. Swift. Please be seated. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dean Scobie. Will Joel Towers, Executive Dean of Parsons, the New School for Design, please come forward?
Mr. President, Mr. Provost, I have the honor to present the candidates for degrees in Parsons, the New School for Design. I will begin with the candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science. Will all of the candidates for the AAS degree please rise and remain standing? Where are you? Get up. Mr. President, these trailblazers include our candidates for the AAS degree in Fashion Design, Fashion Marketing, Graphic Design, and Interior Design. Please be seated. I will now recognize the Parsons candidates for all of the BFA, the BBA, the BS, and the BAFA degrees. Will all of the candidates rise and remain standing for the Bachelor of Business Administration, the Bachelor of Fine Arts, the Bachelor of Science, and the BAFA candidates are dual degree with Eugene Lang College for a Bachelor of Fine Arts and a Bachelor of Arts. Stay up. Mr. President, this enthusiastic group includes our candidates in architectural design, communication design, design and technology, environmental studies, fashion design, fine arts, illustration, integrated design, interior design, photography, product design, strategic design and management, and urban design. Okay, please be seated. Finally, I will now present the Parsons Master's Degree candidates. Will all of the Parsons Master Degree candidates please rise and remain standing? This extraordinary group includes our candidates for Master of Architecture, as well as our candidates for Master of Arts in Design Studies, in Fashion Studies, in the History of Decorative Arts and Design, and in Theories of Urban Practice. It also includes our Master of Fine Arts in Design and Technology, Fashion Design and Society, Fine Arts, Interior Design, Lighting Design, Photography, and Transdisciplinary Design. Also standing are candidates for a Master of Science in Design and Urban Ecologies, as well as Strategic Design and Management. And finally, our dual degree candidates for Master of Architecture and Master of Fine Arts in Lighting Design. Thank you. Please be seated, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dean Towers. I now ask Stephanie Browner, Dean of Eugene Lang College, the New School for Liberal Arts, to please come forward.
Mr. President and Mr. Provost, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degrees in Eugene Lang College, the New School for Liberal Arts. Will all of the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science please rise? This talented and ready to change the world group of Eugene Lang students include majors in the arts, culture and media, economics, education studies, environmental studies, global studies, interdisciplinary science, history, liberal arts, literary studies, philosophy, politics, psychology, urban studies. Thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you, Dean Browner. Will Richard Kessler, Dean of Madison College, the New School for Music, please come forward?
Mr. President, Mr. Provost, I have the honor to present the candidates for degrees and diplomas in Madison College, the New School for Music. Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Music and the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science please rise? Please be seated. Will the candidates for the Extension Diploma please rise? Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Music please rise? Please be seated. Will the candidates for the Professional Studies Diploma please rise? Please be seated. Will the candidate for the Undergraduate Diploma please rise? Please be seated. Thank you, Mr. President.
Well done. Thank you, Dean Kessler. Will Martin Mueller, Executive Director, there he is, of the New School for Jazz and Contemporary Music, please come forward.
Mr. President, Mr. Provost, I have the honor to present the world's most talented candidates for bachelor's degrees in jazz and contemporary music. Will all of the candidates please rise? This includes our candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts, as well as those who have completed the Bachelor of Arts and the Bachelor of Fine Arts. Please be seated. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Mueller. Will Pippin Parker, Director of the New School for Drama, please come forward?
Mr. President, Mr. Provost, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Master of Fine Arts in the New School for Drama. Will all the master's candidates, a small but powerful group, please rise? This includes our amazing candidates for degrees in acting, directing, and playwriting. Please be seated. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. I will now call Dean Will Milberg of the New School for Social Research to please come forward.
Mr. President, Mr. Provost, I have the great honor to present the candidates for degrees in the New School for Social Research. I'll first recognize the Master Degrees candidates. Will all the NSSR Master's Degree candidates please rise? Mr. President, this esteemed group includes our candidates for Master of Arts, Masters of Science, Master of Philosophy in Anthropology, Economics, Global Political Economy and Finance, Historical Studies, Liberal Studies, Philosophy, Politics, Psychology, and Sociology. Please be seated. I now have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. I will ask each candidate by name to rise. Elizabeth Allison Burke, Clinical Psychology. J. Patrick Boyle, Experimental Psychology. Helena Chmielewska-Schleifer, Sociology. Paul Conrad Clement, Philosophy. Mika S. Daly, philosophy. Anthony P. DeMaria, clinical psychology. Bella Grossman, clinical psychology. Alexander Macwell Chris, clinical psychology. Matthew Craig Lampert, philosophy. Dara Rose Mahler Kosaglu, clinical psychology. Anna Peretskaya, sociology. Alexandra Petru, clinical psychology. Bhargavi Ramamurthy, economics. Christos Rialis, politics. Natalia Rutkayova, psychology. Shira Schuster, clinical psychology. Lema Sirksnight, sociology. Hamid Sheikh, psychology. Thomas Stollen, philosophy. Tuba Togosh, clinical psychology. Luis Alberto Villanueva Martinez, economics. And finally, Solongo Wandan from the politics department. Congratulations all. Thank you, Mr. President. Please be seated. Sorry.
Thank you, Dean Milberg. I now ask Provost Marshall to come forward to present the candidates for the conferral of degrees.
Mr. President, we have presented to you the candidates for degrees in all of the programs of the new school. They've been recommended by the faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees. I now ask that you, by your official act, confer upon them their degrees. Will all the degree candidates please rise once again?
By the authority vested in me, by the Regents of the State of New York, and by the Board of Trustees of the New School, I now confer upon you the degrees as designated by your deans and directors and admit you to all the rights and responsibilities they represent. Congratulations, class of 2014. Well, our ceremony now comes to a close. I extend our warm appreciation to everyone who has joined us for this happy occasion, whether here at Madison Square Garden, at the Grand Ballroom, on campus at the University Center, or wherever you may be watching. I ask the audience to remain in their places until all of the students have recessed. You may then rejoin the graduates in the public area. So everyone, please rise. Thank you again for coming, and have a wonderful holiday weekend.